Hopefully you're still in. But thank you for letting me know. I forgot that. Let me just... Hello, hello, hello. I don't know. Sniper Crosser, yes, it is always busy. I have got a virtual assistant who's based in the Philippines. He does actually source me products and sends them to me. There are opportunities available. There always is. Obviously, at different times of the year, there can be different opportunities and less deals. So, like when we're running up to Q4, there's always going to be a lot more offers on because retailers are then trying to get your custom. So they've put lots of special offers on, coupons and stuff. So you can actually source quite a lot during Q4, which obviously is better for us because then you're going to be able to get more products to send into Amazon. But there is always opportunities, and if you struggle with one sourcing method, you could always think about like going cross border, going into Europe, purchasing products from there. There is always opportunity. John Doe, John Doe. I saw you jump into the TikTok, so I'm guessing the sound problem hasn't fixed on YT. Abby, hello. How are you, Steph? I need to check that 1 second, guys. Hopefully it doesn't come through. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Live. Yes, it has. It's fixed. There is now sound on YT. I don't know why that's changed. My default audio system. Sniper Crosser, are you doing Amazon? How are you, Cable Guy? Obviously, you said it was busy. Yes, I am VAT registered, mate. I have been VAT registered for 2 years. No, probably 3 years. We are starting a Keeper course, so that is a live 6-week training course. We are going to have 6 75-minute sessions. That means that some of the modules which we are going to cover can be the whole hour. So I have made it a 75-minute session time. So then at the end of each session, you could come and ask questions, Q&A on that lesson's topic. But we're going over everything to do with Keeper. How did that affect your product sourcing a lot? Yes, it did, because when I was going into VAT registration, what happened is we was doing, so you had the not applicable on your seller amp, so we wasn't able to claim any VAT back. How it works out, I think. We claim back on your purchase back or something. No, I'm thinking about VAT thingy. Basically, if you look on Celeram and you look at not registered and not applicable, you'll see that not applicable is a lot more profitable than not registered because Amazon moved the country of billing from Luxembourg, if I remember correctly. So it made a massive difference. We was going from not applicable, and at that time I went into the flat rate scheme, so pay a 7.5% on all products, no matter if the what VAT category they're in. So yeah, then we went into the VAT registered. But when you are setting your seller amp up, what I've done, and I've done a video on this on YT, is overestimating your fees. So then it's worst case scenario. But it does. You can obviously think about before you actually go VAT registered, Sniper Crosser, because when you go VAT registered, you usually have a month before you actually start getting charged VAT, or you'll be able to claim it back. So you kind of implement sourcing methods before you get to that point. I think it's 90,000 now in sales. So if you started sourcing products with VAT registered settings on at roughly the 70 to 75,000 sales price, 75,000 in total sales, if that helps. That's the best way to do it. John Doe, are you in here? No worries. I'm full of good advice. Just keep asking the questions. I have got a tube channel as well, YT channel. I do videos on there going over different sourcing techniques. I don't really do courses. Obviously, you can see at the top, I am going to be doing the Keep course. This is a rerun with enhancements to the previous one I did last year. A lot of people thought that it was massive value for money because I've promised that I'll undercharge and over deliver. So there's going to help. It's going to help any sort of level seller, give them a better advantage. And I have gone over. People have been messaging me asking, is it going to help me improve my sourcing, which it will do because you make better decisions during your analysis of your products. And also because how we analyze the products and you've got a better understanding, it'll open up more doors to actually doing it. How did you learn? Did you do a mentorship? How I learned was I watched a lot of YouTube videos at the beginning. How I started originally, I did 9 months of hard graft on retail arbitrage. So I made all my good decisions and bad decisions doing retail arbitrage. At the beginning, we didn't do much online arbitrage at all, if any. It was probably 5% of our it's 5% of our actual income, if that, for online arbitrage. We probably hit about VAT registration in our first 9 months. Back then it was 83,000, not the 90,000 now. And then we moved into a bit of wholesale. So we did wholesale, and that was quite hard because moving into wholesale, we did a course which I wouldn't recommend. Not doing a course. Obviously, education is good, but the course which I took, it just taught you really about how to set up a website. Obviously, setting up a website, going through the coaching, trying to learn about wholesale, trying to open accounts up. That slowed our business down massively because at night time I was working a 9 till 5 job then. At that time, obviously, where I would go out doing retail arbitrage, I was trying to email wholesalers, source products for wholesalers, and that's where it really made us become a little bit more stuck. So sales did slow down. Obviously, we did wholesale for a little while. I think our first year we did 120,000 in revenue. Evening, Warren. I did a bit of a picture post on it, Sniper Crosser. I did a picture post on here, on this channel. So you can slide it and it goes through our first year, basically. If you are starting, I would probably recommend giving sourcing a try first. So get a free trial and then give 14 days a go of seeing if you like it, because there's no point of being one of these people who sign up for a business, they try and start a business, open bank accounts, then they realize it's just not for them. So if you get 14-day free trial, you get the app on your phone, so like for SellerAmp, or you could get like the Chrome extension on your Google Chrome, and then you'll be able to actually give it a go. See if you can actually look for anything, find anything. And that's the best way you're going to learn, especially at the beginning. So what do I do now? So I'm mainly online arbitrage, Amazon to Amazon, and we do sourcing from Amazon Europe as well, which is Amazon to Amazon, but not UK based. I do have wholesale accounts. Obviously, I haven't lost them. A few of the wholesalers have actually closed down, to be honest. But I do have wholesale accounts open. And I've done quite a bit on Amazon. I've had a spell of doing unique bundles, but when the policies changed in Amazon US in America, that's when I actually got a little bit scared, so I didn't move forward with that. I closed my trademark down because to be honest, I didn't do a course. I self-taught myself, and then yeah. Sorry, I'm just having a look at Amazon, and I had a product in my basket for some reason. So nothing is easy. It's not an automatic money making machine. 100% input required. Yeah, it is. Totally agree with that. Obviously, we can make things easier, but like with hiring a team, you are making things slightly easier, but you've still got the responsibility of managing that team. It's not a case of once you get a virtual assistant, hands off, he does all the sourcing and I just sit back and it's making me money, because you still have, like, you could get a second one for admin, trying to help things out, or get you've still got to manage them. Is FBA not risky? How do you determine if a retail invoice will be good enough if you have a problem? So you could always request an invoice. It is something, a requirement which they should give you, at least a proof of purchase. So for invoices, you could either start a chat with a new supplier. I always check if all my suppliers are actually VAT registered before I purchase them, because then I feel they've got a bit more, they're a bit more obliged to send an invoice. Some retailers like Argos, for example, they only give you a e-receipt, which is fine. You won't be able to get ungated with an e-receipt. It's just a proof of purchase. So if you had any problems with like authenticity complaints, that means you've got a genuine receipt from a genuine reputable supplier, and that is where you could provide that as proof. They may need to ask for additional documentation if you're just doing an e-receipt. So they may ask for bank statements, which all this is going to be going to the correct information. So your business bank account, it's going to be through to your business address. All that information is going to be lined up with your Seller Central, and that's where Amazon could do their checks. They could say, this is a reputable supplier, it's Argos. They're going to then look at your bank statements, which are going to be signed up to your business address. They could tick that off. Sometimes they may even ask you proof of delivery to make sure that them products have been arrived at your place of business. So it's plugged in, mate. There you go. Just take it, Jacob. So Argos would be acceptable for proving supply chain. Yes, it would. Like I said, you'd have to provide the e-receipt. You may have to do bank statement and also made proof of delivery. I've got a long question. Go on then. I like all the questions. In terms of proof of delivery, how would you do that? So usually you'll have, if you went to any like supplier, usually they'll track all their deliveries. And what you could do then is go to your preferred, well, not your preferred, but the courier which they've actually sent the products to you. So, for example, Royal Mail. Sometimes Royal Mail will have a track this product, and you just put your tracking information in, and it'll say like delivered, maybe a proof of a picture saying that it's delivered, and that's usually good enough. I can't type it out. It's going to have to be over several comments. Oh gosh. Can you break it down into littler questions then? My brand Martin is registered with Amazon. Yes. Martin. Yeah, we know Martin. Mr. Martin. We've had that one. Yes, Sniper Crosser. If you go on, if I don't know if you're already selling on Amazon, but if you actually go onto Amazon, to in the top bar in Amazon Seller Central, not Amazon customer side, if you go to the top and type in intellectual property, it does actually give you all of this information. So that is where you'd find that. And if I wanted to sell my products, you'd have to apply, right? Not quite, Cable Guy. No worries, Sniper Crosser. Like I say, if you drop us a follow, whatever. I usually do this every Tuesday. I usually do it for 2 hours, but now we're reduced down to 8 till 9. So how would I sell your products, Cable Guy? If I was wanting to sell your products, what I could do is obviously if I could buy your products from elsewhere. So if you sold them to like a distributor or a retailer, and I went into that retailer, brought them products, I would have to get ungated. The thing is, like, you're not protecting your brand per se unless you're kicking people off. That's why you get the whole intellectual property debates. But if I'm proving my proof of purchase from a reputable supplier, I'm not breaching no intellectual property rights. Yeah. So if someone jumped onto your listings now, obviously you haven't sold them to anyone else. Yeah. So if someone jumped onto your listings, you have the right to kick them off and tell Amazon this person doesn't have this person hasn't brought these products from me, therefore they are not genuine products. Does that make sense? If you've got any more questions, guys, make sure to fire them away. Yeah, so cable guy, if I contacted you and says I would like to purchase products from you at a trade price, it's up to you then to sell them to me or not. But if you did, I would get an invoice, so I could then get ungated. And if Amazon says that you're buying fake products, I could say, "Here's my actual invoice." Um, so if I so would the Argos receipt work for authenticity complaint as well? Yes, it should. So if you guys look here, let me just 1 second. Your comments have gone quite small now, so 1 minute. Ah, flip the camera. So this is what it says on Amazon's actual seller central. As a seller, when can I use someone else's trademark? Typically, seller can use someone else's trademark in the following circumstances. When selling authentic goods, a seller may use trademark name to list those authentic goods. For example, a seller who lists an authentic pins on product is not necessarily infringing on the owner of the pins on trademark because the seller is using a trademark to, I shouldn't have showed that can on the stream. Identify authentic product. When using a trademark word, it's ordinary dictionary descriptive meaning. When making truthful statements as a product is compatible with the trademark product. For example, you offer a cable, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? If the goods are sold by a trademark owner in a high quality packaging, which lends, what's that regarding? Do I always need the right owners? Just because you're not the owner does not necessarily mean you cannot sell the rights owner's product. If the product is genuine and not unlawfully parallel import, you can use a trademark to market that specific product. For more information on what makes a parallel import unlawful, refer to the parallel import section below. Does that help? I'll get back to your question. Yeah, got that. But from that point, you send the products to Amazon for FBA, right? Yes, that's correct, cable guy. Or I, if it, or really, I don't have to send them by FBA. I could sell them as fulfilled by a merchant like yourself. It just means that you'll have two people on that listing instead of one. So, like I say, Sniper Crosser, it's all there in black and white, and you really want to have a quick look through them. Just get yourself a bit more refreshed, and that's what I mean. You can use certain like e-receipts. And thank you for the follow, by the way. We just got spammed by cable guys. All these questions. See, a lot of people would give you some bullshit answer, but I've just gave you what Amazon asked for. It says your supplier should have a strong website presence. Yeah. So what I would do is use Trustpilot. I asked ChatGPT. I've created myself a bit of a ChatGPT bot. I don't know what people are calling them now, but it's ChatGPT channel, which I put the website in and it does all this for me. So it'll look at company house information. It looks at the website, domain, how well it's been on domain, Scam Advisor, all them sort of websites, and then it gives me a bit of a rating to see how good like that presence is, Trustpilot and bits and bobs like that. So that's what I use when I'm sourcing. I try and have a look at if the supplier has actually got a physical presence as well, and that's just to give you a bit more peace of mind. So big retailers, etc., should be acceptable. Yes, they should. Abu, hello from Huddersfield. I hadn't heard that one for a while. How come you got boring? Or have you moved house? Are you not from Huddersfield anymore? So you could keep giving me some likes though. That's perfectly fine. I'm only getting like the average of about 200 likes. I'm over exceeding here with 300, but if you're liking this content, you can always sit there tapping the screen as well. It's like a little bit of a high five to me. Yeah, it's a little bit different to someone being sat here and saying, what do they say? It's a get rich quick scheme. Give me £200 and text me or whatever. I did a bit of a controversial video on it the other day. Have you got any tips on ungated invoices getting rejected? I have one direct from the brand, but they keep rejecting it. So, Sniper Crosser, I have got a bit of a guide. There's a link in the bio. It is a free one. It does say pay what you want or something, pay what you wish, but you can actually put 0. You get that document for free. There's no big upsell. It's just a free document. It goes over all the tips for ungating. Like I say, I do have a YT channel under the same name, FBA Today. I am considering doing a video on that because I know a lot of people struggle with ungating. If you've got any more questions, fire away. But with ungating, usually they'll be telling you why it's not being accepted. So sometimes it could be down to the wrong quantity. You've got to double check if it's 10 units, 100 units. It's got to be within 180 days of the date. What else? Same billing address. Double check that what your name is on your company, on your Seller Central, sorry, and what you've put the name down for on your invoice. And that is only for the billing address, not the shipping address. Shipping address can be different if you're using a prep center. So your billing address has got to match exactly how it is on Seller Central. With delivery address, that could go to a prep center, so that can be different. But make sure everything's lined up with who you say you are, what they are. If the products on the invoice are trying, the products ideally need to be a perfect match to what the brand is. So let's say, for example, let's give TK Maxx, for example. You shouldn't be buying from TK Maxx if you're doing retail arbitrage or Asda. But with TK Maxx, if you go to the toys section, so let's say you went and picked up a Nerf gun, then it'll just say toys on the receipt. So that isn't telling Amazon what the product is. Toys could mean anything. So you've got to try and it's not down to us. If you'd like to obviously request that sort of information being changed on your invoice, you have to talk to your supplier. But to just make it a little bit more clearer of what sort of product it is, what brand name it is, and bits and bobs like that. But yeah. I have one direct from the brand, but they keep rejecting it. Answer that. Okay, thanks. We'll check it out. So frustrating because so blatantly. Yeah, so you know when you're doing that, Sniper, I don't know if you've just gone because it just left. So if you was buying 3k worth of stock, which you're not ungated in, firstly, you shouldn't have brought it. But secondly, what you should have done is look for a cheap ungate. So let's say you're buying profitable Xbox controllers and you need to get 10 of these, for example, to then get ungated. You don't actually have to buy 10 of the controllers. You could buy a cheaper Xbox product. So you could buy a Xbox pin badge, let's say, and then you'll be able to use that to get the ungate. So the product which you're planning to sell doesn't have to be your actual ungate, if that makes sense. Yeah, cable guy. With different products, it's like you get Philips as well. So you get Philips, so normal Philips. You get the Philips Sonic Care toothbrushes, and then sometimes you'll get Philips Sonic Care as a separate brand as well. Sorry, Islamic World. I thought you was a spammer. I'll answer your question in a minute. I just saw the love hearts and I was like, oh my days, I've got another spammer in here. Yeah, so with like Philips Sonicare, you could get like toothbrushes, like they're all named Philips Sonicare toothbrush, but some actually under one brand of Philips, others are under the other brand of Philips. So that's what I always add my products, and I do forget sometimes, and it does bite me on the arse. I always try to add products to my inventory before I actually purchase them, making sure I could sell them. Because I did it recently, to be honest. I brought some PlayStation headphones. I could sell quite a lot of PlayStation stuff, and the headphones was official PlayStation headphones, but they was listed under Sony, so I couldn't actually sell them. I was ungated when I purchased it, and now all of a sudden need to apply. So unfortunately, sometimes that does happen. Sniper Crosser. It happened to me last week. So I brought pardon me. So I brought a load of branded products. I was able to sell them apart from one SKU. Then what happened is once I came to send them in, they was all gated. But because I ordered over 10, I was lucky enough to just submit the invoice. It got approved straight away. So you could buy the cheapest item from that brand to ungate. Yes, Islamic World. So if I was trying to, like I say, if I was trying to do Xbox, instead of trying to purchase 100 Xbox controllers to get a 100 unit ungate, what I would be doing is looking at cheaper items. So you could probably think Xbox, you got like what's that called? Joystick covers. You get Xbox joystick covers. You might be able to find an ungate for that. So buy 100 units of them because that's going to be 50p a pound compared to 60 quid for a controller. Usually German invoices are absolutely fine, Sniper Crosser, because I buy from Amazon Europe. The all their invoices are in different languages as well. So France, Italy, Spain, Germany, and they accept it. But with Amazon invoices, they do have obviously like the ASINs on there as well. So could be a bit of both. Imported brand direct from Germany. Could you not speak with the supplier themselves then? If you're working directly with the brand, could you not work and ask for an invoice? Sometimes I have heard the rumor, and I don't know how true this is. It depends on like the quality of the actual document as well. So if it's just not printed well, or sometimes invoices have actually got a bit of a logo on, and that looks like it messes with the actual writing. So that can actually cause a bit of an issue. But I'm not 100% sure on how true that is. Yeah, we'll take a look at your document to see what I can find. Yeah. Have you heard of anyone has been ungated with fake invoices? There's Cable Guy. There's a lot of people who are on different social platforms, and what they recommend people do to get ungated is just send a blank piece of paper off as an ungate document, which is okay. But if, let's say, for example, you've ungated with a blank document, and then we have another U-move incident where somebody or something becomes really poorly, dies possibly, or gets damaged, and Amazon then start kicking everyone off listings and asking for them to prove the supply chain. You've not got any supply chain. The ungating document is blank. Obviously, you've got no proof. You've got no cover. Obviously, so it can cause you a massive lot of issues using fake invoices or blank documents. So I wouldn't recommend taking any sort of quick and easy ways through an issue. If Amazon's asking you for a document, make sure you read the invoice. There is an invoice document as well. So you could, let's see. Pay by invoice. Amazon business invoice policy, not that one. The invoice requirements. Invoice by Amazon. I can't see it just now. Ungating policy. Let's see if it's under that. You could type it all into the top search bar on your Size Central, and you'll be able to get all this sort of information. But the thing is, how many people actually do this? Is it definitely a sales invoice, not a sales quote or a pro forma invoice? Self-issued invoices or invoices where the supplier appears to be the same business entity as buyer. The invoice that have been digitally manipulated or in any editable format such as LSX or doc. Let's. I wonder if it's. Why is it not giving me any results for ungating? Selling applications, that'll be more. Oh, I've actually been ungated in a few. So today, they have ungated me in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 brands. Yeah, I'm just waiting for a letter of authorization from them. If I get rejected again, yeah, that would be your next step. Get a letter of authorization. Sniper Crosser. How can you find brands that are already ungated for us to sell? So I can show you this bit. If you're looking for brands which are already ungated, that can be a little bit harder. Obviously, people are doing AI stuff, so I'm sure it'll come out quite soon. But if you was looking for which brands you could actually sell, thank you for the likes, guys. We're up at 600. Whoop, whoop. So if you went to your selling applications, so selling applications, you can see the brands here and what's been approved. So as you can see, today I've automatically been ungated in 10 brands. I haven't done this. This is what I've just had a look at. If you go through, you can see all your selling applications, if they're approved or draft. So I was trying to get a Penhaligons. But yeah, you can go through all that and it just tells you what brands. So that's your selling applications. Did that help Islamic world? Or the best way to do it is just try and find profitable products. If you find profitable products, try and add them to your inventory. If you get ungated, create a list. You have got to track these metrics. So products which you gated on, products which you can products which you gated on, products which you could sell, because these lists are going to help you when you come to your sourcing. So, for example, if you was doing manual sourcing online and you could only sell Adidas products or Nike products, instead of looking through all the categories, you just stick to the brands you could sell. So, having a list, and we've got a list on our we've got a list on my VA sheet of what brands I'm ungated in, or gated in, shall I say, and stuff like that. Apply to sell, selling application dashboard. Is Seller, what was his name? Seller Crossed. Is he still in there? It's definitely an invoice. I did highlight some key information on my resubmission, which they didn't like. It's, yeah, sometimes they don't like it because it's kind of an alteration. If you printed it off and highlighted it manually, that might have been probably a little bit better, but then you've got to scan it in. Taking photos of the products next to an invoice, that could be another one. So I'm just I know they had an invoice. They had an invoice policy, which I can't find it for some reason. I'm on the actual. How can I tell product requires approval? Add the product categories that require approval. Listing error. You've got the selling. Yeah, that's what I mean. So it'd probably be better to print it off and manually do it with a highlighter pen, because you're not actually changed the document online. It's just a case of you've highlighted it in person. You've not made an exact alteration. But here's the selling. I can't find the actual requirements for the invoice, but here's the selling applications FAQs. So you can actually search selling application frequently asked questions. It tells you all this online. See, this is what I mean. A lot of people don't actually look over all this. They don't go over all the different categories. They don't read anything. So it's worth definitely checking out. Right. What time is it? Oh, there we go. Right, guys, I have got to get going. I have got to edit a video ready for Thursday, because tomorrow I'm busy as hell, and then Thursday I'm away. I'm at a festival. Sniper Crosser usually it will get accepted. Sometimes, like, I've spoke to people and I've done it before where I've tried to get ungated 10, 15 times. It can happen, but that's why you want to double check first before you buy all these products. But yeah, I've got to head off now. If you are interested in learning everything about Keeper, like properly, the good stuff, the real stuff, go check it out. There is a link in my bio. There's plenty of free downloadables, including that course. There's going to be, it's 6 weeks of live training, so hour lessons with a 15-minute Q&A at the end of it. Some lessons may be a little bit longer, depending on how much information I could get out. But all questions will be answered. All the information is exactly what I do. So, yeah, it's definitely one way to make sure that you get in a better education and doing things correctly. Right, guys, I'm going to end the YouTube now. So thank you for joining us on YouTube. If you have joined us on YouTube, I do appreciate it. Please give us a bit of a subscribe. The channel is still new, but every subscription does help the channel out massively. So I do appreciate it. There will be a new video out on Thursday. So in 2 days at 8 p.m. It would have gone out an hour ago. But thank you for that. And for you guys on TikTok, the Keeper